Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Tower of God Chapter 415 or Season 2 Episode 335. So either way, totally friggin' loved this one. I thought it was great, personally because, I'm kind of a sucker for the narration boxes and making a chapter feel special like that. But in addition, I thought it was good. I thought this took a really good approach to the chapter, where a lot of times when I complain about a specific chapter, and it's not even just Tower of God, but this can kind of be said about any series I cover, is when we hyper-focus on the main character, like hyper-focus on Bomb here, is often a complaint I have with Tower of God. But instead of hyper-focusing on exactly what Bomb's doing, we didn't really focus much at all on Bomb. We kind of took a bigger, wider look at the entire events that are going on. And it's not like we really jumped around a lot either. We did, but it wasn't to tell a bunch of different stories. It was to tell the same story, but in different places. We just took a wide look at all the battles going on and all the escaping that is trying to be done. And I thought it was all really good. I thought this chapter did things really well. There were a lot of really surprising moments that I didn't expect, which was good. So, yeah, I guess let's discuss it part by part as usual. So, starting at the beginning, Misheni's doing the stuff with Jinsung, of course, and she mentions that she has a similar goal to Jinsung's, but she believes more in using bloodshed to achieve it. And then she shocks my man's Jinsung. She shocks him. But he keeps surviving because he's a tough bastard, and she wasn't really trying to kill him, it wouldn't seem. But either way, cutting back to what's going on, we see a little bit of what went on last chapter with Calavan realizing he missed his chance. He could have killed Bomb at any time, but he was just playing around with him, and now Evankel, Yuri, and Karaka are here, and he realizes, crap, I missed my chance to just kill this kid. So we have Miseng piloting the ship, Deathbird is following to escape with them too. All of that is good. Calavan then fights with Evankel, Yuri, and Karaka, and there's a lot of really cool fighting panels, but calling it a fight is maybe even a bit of a stretch, because Calavan's really not worried too much about him, just trying to run through to get the bomb. Yuan Sung then takes Arthur's lighthouse and is like, well, see ya. So he wasn't really struggling at all, it would seem. White then uses up his power on trying to take out Division 1, but Elpathian blocks it. And White kind of doing this multiple times where he's like, I'm just going to destroy everyone, use all my power. And then somebody super strong blocks it, and he's like, oh, well, crap, I just used all my power. One thing, a lot of the panels in the art looked really good when that was going on, which I liked. But another thing that was cool with it is I love Albelda inside of his head, kind of scolding him, like, what are you doing? Why would you use all your power like that? Because I like Albelda, and I like that she's still in the story, even if just a voice in White's head. But in addition to that, it would be hilarious if Siyu would have taken the route of just having all of his siblings that he consumed as voices in his head, just completely bugging him all the time, like schizophrenic White, would have been great. But no, I like that Albelda can still talk to him and be kind of like a conscience in his head. Evan, though, takes White away with Enakor. Somebody in the comments reminded me that he was the one that actually taught Enakor to Kun to begin with, so of course it makes sense that he would be able to use Enakor. I feel like there's something on my face. Oh well, whatever. So Li Xiaowun's kind of a dick. I've mentioned this before, but the way Li Xiaowun was described doesn't really match up with this whole, the way he's acting. So he was kind of a dick to his daughter, who was like trying to do the right thing, trying to make this utopia for regulars, stand up for them, make it work. But Li Xiaowun's kind of like, nah, I'll just blow everything up. Then it'll be a utopia again, somehow. But if he blows them up, he would also blow up, so I don't really get what he's doing here. So, not sure what's going on with Li Xiaowun's character. Maybe there's going to be some reason behind it, the reason he was forced to, that we'll learn next chapter. But at least for right now, no clue why he's acting the way he is. But he's stopped by Goddess Elaine showing up. One of my absolute favorite characters. I wasn't expecting her here because I had just mentioned in some DMs too that I was like, I was stuck on this theory for a while that whenever we saw Jinsung again, Elaine would be with him. But since we had been seeing him and she wasn't with him, I was like, well, I guess I'm wrong about that. Screw me. But no, she did show up. And I think I've seen at least one person. I haven't answered all the comments yet. I've just read them. I think I saw some person asking, like, are we going to figure out how or why Elaine was there? I think maybe we're going to find out that she was sent there by Jinsung because the last place we saw her was with him. In addition to that, she was probably one of those mystery people we saw way back at the beginning of this arc. Even though we haven't seen all of the rest of them, I would guess that she was probably one of them. So I haven't gone back to look if her outfit is similar to any of them, but that could be the case. But yeah, I'm so happy Elaine's back. She's one of my favorite characters in the series. I think a big reason for it is because Bomb, he seemed less invincible earlier in the series, of course, but even throughout the entire series, Bomb hasn't seemed like he's had to struggle with too many opponents, but Elaine is probably... I think Daniel might have made Bomb struggle more than Elaine, but I don't know. Elaine probably did the most damage to Bomb, probably made him struggle the most, and I really think that's what I like about the character, is that she was actually badass. She put up more of a fight than freaking Zahard against Bomb, and of course Bomb had a bunch more power-ups by then, but still, point remains that she kicked Bomb's ass a bit, which was really cool to see, because we don't often see it. It's very rare. Caliban, we see, gets hit with a death sentence from Evankel, but I don't want to say he shrugs it off because he screams and he's like, ah, shit, but he kind of figures he needs to take the hit in order to toss a nuke at Bomb. So the boy tosses a nuke again, and Yu Han-sung, greatest of all time, Yu Han-sung is the GOAT, ends up teleporting them out of there. At least I think that's what he did. I don't think he blocked the nuke. I think he teleported them out of there, or at least warped them forward a little bit. So again, I love something here when we start to see those dialogue boxes. We get to see the blood and cigarette from Jinsung, and in addition to that, we see the lighthouses and Yu Han-sung saving Bomb. So I like how we've told this story for the past couple chapters of Bomb taking on Yu Han-sung and Ha Jinsung's wills, and they've put their hopes for the next generation, for this wave to come. They've put their hopes in Bomb to be that change, to be that new era. So again, I like the way that story is being told. Then Team Ship comes in for the win at the end to help block off Caliban's path and be like, hey guys, hop in the ship. So yeah, I guess that ship is going to be part of what gets teleported out there. I have no idea. We could see something happen where Waryun, Rak, their group gets sent off somewhere else. So they're traveling, and then Bomb is traveling with the group of, ship's group and the rescued allies. So Bomb would be traveling with and we don't know if Team Jaja's with them yet or not, but he'd be traveling with Team Ship, and in addition to Team Ship, they would have, Sachi, Boro, Misang, and Andrasi. That's a pretty solid team, and I think there's probably more people there than just them that I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Irude is there as well. They're kind of kidnapping Drac. Oh yeah, forgot about that. They're kind of kidnapping Drac right now. So that'd be a cool team, and then of course that would separate off Rak, Elaine, Hackney, and Waryun to try to rescue Kunagro Agnes, try to thaw him from this ice, unless of course Yiwan Danhua finally show up there, and through some kind of Yian family miracle powers, Yiwa is able to just unfreeze Kun. But we'll see how that all goes down. But yeah, Jaja's team was mentioned at the beginning of this arc, so we don't know where they are either at this point. But at the very, very end, Masheni takes Jinsung alive to use as bait. Now, I had kind of said from the beginning, I thought there was a good chance that Masheni is going to keep him alive. Unless we specifically saw him die, it would be good to assume she took him alive, because he would be a very good bargaining piece with Zahard for her to get more power. But since she specifically mentioned bait, I don't know that she'll use him as a bargaining piece to get more power from Zahard. I think she'll use him, again, as she said, as bait to try to get to try to get Bomb's group and Yuri specifically, who she wants to take the 13-month series from, to try to get them to come to her to lay some sort of trap for them. So that seems like it's the more likely outcome now, because she did mention using him as bait. So nothing really important to mention in the blog. Nothing serious there really this week. But some thoughts on the chapter as a whole. I loved it. There was a ton of content in there, and I always like when we, again, jump around to a bunch of characters and see a bunch of different things happen. But like I said at the beginning, we focused on this wide shot of the entire scenario that's going on, instead of hyper-focusing on any specific stories. So I thought that was good. We didn't focus on what any specific character was doing, we just kind of focused on the whole event itself, and I like that kind of storytelling. So yeah, I'm also excited to have the regulars back together. I would like to see them just go on and tell more stories with regulars. I think maybe the ranker stuff, people have had complaints. I think maybe it's been brought in a little bit too early, but it's over. It wasn't that bad in the end. So yeah, I think I'd like to get back to some regular storylines though. So I like seeing them back together. Rachel and Yura, though, we didn't see whatever happened to them. I'm thinking they were maybe saved by the cloaked figures. So theory time, put on your tinfoil hats. Maybe they were saved by like Rachel's former allies, like Michael and Apple or whatever. We haven't seen them in friggin' forever. They could have been saved by them, or taken by some group of FUG in general. We don't know if Karaka would have wanted them or not, but we don't know how Karaka's escaping quite this moment yet anyway, but I would assume he can just warp into a pocket dimension or let himself die and come back at a respawn point or something. So Karaka's probably safe regardless. Then, yeah, I guess, I don't know, Rachel and Yura probably saved by somebody. They could have been saved by, what is it? Elliot and Angel, and they're like, you're working for us now this time around. So there's a lot of different things that could happen, but it's interesting to note that we didn't see any of Rachel and Yura. Or there's the chance they get captured by the army, and for some reason or another, Rachel, being the typical weasel character she is, talks her way into working with Zahard's empire. There's always a chance that that could happen, because screw it, it's Rachel, it could happen. Also, good to note that we don't know who all these mysterious figures at the beginning of the arc were, but we haven't seen Daniel or Akka, who we don't know if they're coming or not, but I was kind of somewhat expecting them to maybe show up because of those figures in the brown cloaks. I was thinking maybe they fit the size difference, they could be Daniel and Akka. Also, we haven't seen Yiwa or Danwa, and we know Yiwa and Danwa were trying to meet them at the last station or whatever. So we haven't seen them yet this arc. They could still show up. Like I said, I wouldn't be totally surprised if Yuan Danwa showed up where Rack's group is and was like, oh, we can magic Eon powers free Aggro Agnes. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, I'm going to give this 9 goats out of 10. 9 greatest of all time. Between Yuan Sung and Elaine, and I mean White's there too, who is my absolute favorite character. Yeah, it was a good chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. I think that a lot of the problems I've had with previous chapters, they weren't really in this chapter at all, and this was just really fun to read, and that's kind of what matters the most, isn't it? So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved it. So, if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this chapter yourselves and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Tower of God, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or talk to you there if you want. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there about anything, then just ask and I'll give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.